a battle that goes in favor of the Buckeyes as Michigan falls to Ohio State. We'll have the highlights. We'll also visit with Michigan's Hart. That's Mike Hart of Michigan. And we'll wrap up the 2007 campaign as we look ahead to some time off before bowl season. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders in best, www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. By AT&T, for a behind-the-scenes look at sports, visit attblueroom.com/sports. And by Powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Michigan Replay. The Michigan season 2007 started off on a sour note. The middle of it was great, and then the end of it turned out to be not so good either, as the Wolverines dropped their season finale to Ohio State 14-3. Coach Lloyd Carr, very, very disappointing game, and I know you talked after the game that defensively Michigan played well enough probably to win. Great effort. But offensively, you didn't get it done.
Well, Jim, you're not going to win many games scoring 3 points. I think that's the bottom line. That really was the storyline. We just did not do the things offensively you need to do. We had too many penalties. We had a hard time protecting the quarterback. I don't think we controlled the line of scrimmage like we wanted to. We had too many penalties, and we dropped too many passes. So,
ultimately these games come down to the football is not a real fancy game. I mean, you win that battle of the line of scrimmage, and things go your way, and that's where it didn't get done against Ohio State.
Well, I think Ohio State deserves a lot of credit. Their defense was outstanding. They met every challenge that we gave them, and we had some opportunities. It was a game of field position much of the game, and we didn't have a lot of opportunities, but we had enough. We just didn't take advantage of it.
Your defense actually played really well in the early going. They really only put one drive on you in the first half.
Well,
Here,
Chris Wells,
you stop them, and then you get the ball back.
Yeah, Chris Wells, I think, is a great football player. And our defense, I thought, played collectively. They played together. And here we get the ball. We change the momentum a little bit, the tempo of the game. We went with some no-huddle stuff so that we could do some things, hopefully, the Ohio State defense. And here's a good hole, a couple of good holes here. And we've established in this drive some of the running game that you need to be able to keep the down and distances in your favor.
And this was one of the main problems. You couldn't handle Golston.
Well, he did a great job, and he's a great player as well, and we had a hard time with him. Casey Lapata makes a good field goal there from the left hash, and this kid has really done a great job this year.
You got the lead there, and then Ohio State gets good field position, and this is a big 3rd and 4 completion that keeps their drive alive. And then Chris Wells, again, just starts to bleed enough yardage on you to hurt you.
Well, Brandon Engelman made a good hit there on the slant. Here we're a little bit slow filling and miss a tackle, and now they get the ball down inside deep. And Wells, 235 pounds, big offensive line, and they take the lead here in the second quarter.
7-3 at this point. Basically, it was a game of field position. And boy, did Zoltan Mesko turn field position around with his kick.
He's punting that ball from the 18-yard line now, Jim. And it's one of the great punts you'll ever see. And it really changed field position and gave us exactly what we needed late in the half.
And they try to run it out of there, and this defense of yours stiffens up.
Well, I think Terrence Taylor has really had an exceptional year. Chris Graham makes the hit there. And we're using our timeouts so that we have the ball with good opportunity to score here. And here we can handle a big 3rd down play that's going to put us in field goal range.
And that hurt. And then they get the ball back. They get a first down out of it. I thought they were going to run out the clock, get a first down out of it, and then they try one more time to throw, and it almost backfires.
Well, they had a great field goal kicker, and here they're trying to get down. Good pressure here, and now they got a big third down, and they decide to go to the air, and they make a mistake. Sean Crable gets good pressure on the quarterback. He underthrows the ball, and Brandon Engelman returns with about 20-some seconds to go in the half. We got a chance to hit a pass here and kick a field goal.
And the thing is you don't hit the pass, but you've got the field goal try, just that the wind was too much, and Lapata from 48 falls just short.
Well, it's his first miss of the season, and that would have made a big difference if we could have gotten a little bit better field position, Jim, make it 7-6 game at the half.
7-3 at the half, you go in. Are you concerned with the lack of protection and that offensive inability to move the ball a little bit as you go in and out?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we were leaving the time of possession in that first half due to the fact that we weren't sustaining any drives. It was significant advantage to Ohio State. We had played extremely well on defense, and we had done some good things there in the kicking game. But it was all about trying to do a better job, not getting penalties and catching the football.
All right. When we come back, we'll take a look at the second half highlights. But first, we hear from Chris Graham, who says there's no room for error against a team like Ohio State.
Yeah, they had the one big play. From there, coach made some great adjustments. We went in there and fought hard. This is a game you want to just give your all to. So, they kept getting a couple hops here and there, and we did our best to adjust to it and just stop the run, try to get 3 and out.
We didn't play well as a team at all, and offensively, and we really left our defense out to dry, and we were disappointed, and we just didn't get it done.
Michigan at halftime trailed the Buckeyes 7-3, but opening the second half, you get the ball back, and I thought it was a time for a statement. The problem with opening that second half out, you got the three downs and out, and that one kind of almost set the tone for the second half, didn't it?
Well, Jim, in that kind of game, 7-3, as long as you don't turn it over at the short end. Zoltan was punting the football well. We're playing great defense, so we're going to be in the game as long as we don't turn the ball over. And so we're not pleased with what we're doing, but you're just thinking you're going to get something going.
And then the first play of their first possession in the second half, they go the distance.
Well, our safety, Jamar Adams there, fits into the wrong hole there, and the ball gets onto Brandon Engelman, and he really doesn't have a chance at a legitimate tackle, and Wells makes the biggest play of the game.
And then Ohio State, they keep moving the ball, and they get into your territory, but your defense never breaks. And I thought that was a key part of this game.
There is no doubt about it. Ohio State had great field position here several times, and our defense always found a way to force a punt. And so here we don't have good field position. But
Ryan Mallett in at quarterback.
Yeah, Chad had some discomfort and came out. And here we give the ball to Mike Hart, and good run for a first down. But then we get problems again with protection and take a sack. So now we've got, after this play, we've got a lot of yards to make up, and that's not the way you want to play against this defense.
No, not at all. And the other thing that you do, though, is, again, defensively, you stay with it. Good play here by Tim Jamison.
Well, our defense played very well. They were where they were supposed to be, and we gave our offense a chance a lot of times. And here, finally, we get great field position. And Mario, I thought for a second there down on the field, he had made a great catch, but he couldn't hold on to it, and we got to give the ball up.
Here's a 3rd and 1 play. And again, if they get a first down here, they may wrap the game up. Your defense still comes up and gives your offense still a chance.
It was a major stop. Terrence Taylor there got great penetration, and we force another punt, and we get the ball back. Still time, but we just can't make a play. And that really offensively was kind of the way the whole day went.
14-3 is the final, and I asked you after the game a little bit. It's hard to reflect so soon afterwards about this season, fighting through the injuries. Chad and Mike, and you had defensive injuries early, the opening losses, and then the final two games. Can you reflect at all on where this season has gone? Because it's been resilient, and yet you almost wish you had some games back.
Well, Jim, the way it started, and then we had a great run, 8 weeks, where we had a lot of kids who stepped into the breach when somebody got hurt, because we did have a lot of injuries, and we found a way to win some games that were really special wins. But the disappointment of the way the season ended a week ago against Wisconsin, and certainly in this game, playing as poorly as we did offensively, we just didn't give ourselves a chance. So it's a disappointment. There is no doubt about it, because the goal here is to play championship football. We were playing for the Big Ten championship in the Rose Bowl, and we played poorly and offensively, and so that's a great disappointment.
The thing is, though, is you got to take, I think, great heart in the fact that after those first two games, you found a way to get to the end of the season with a chance to play for the championship. That's not easy, given what happened those first 2 weeks.
No, it isn't, and there's a lot to be proud of in terms of the way these guys hung together. You'd have to be a very close observer or be part of that program to know all of the things that went on. And so I feel very good about the guys that, particularly the seniors, the leaders. They would not let this team fall apart, and they did some wonderful things. And yet, in the end, you know, if you don't win a championship here, it's a disappointment, and that's fair, and that's the way I think it will always be.
That's the way it is at the University of Michigan in the football program. When we come back, we'll meet Mike Hart up close and personal, but first we hear from Tim Jamison. Says getting close isn't good enough.
We did all right, but we didn't finish like we wanted to finish, so like it's a bad loss because we could have beat them. But we just got to keep our heads up when we leave this locker room and watch the film and see where we messed up at.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
Flag flies as Beckman goes to throw. Fires underthrown, intercepted by Engelman back at the 31. Up the sideline 50, 45, 40. Inside the Ohio State 35. He's out of bounds.
He's a special player. Since early in his freshman year, Mike Hart has left an indelible imprint on Michigan football. He's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he's become the best. He ran into the record books this year as the Wolverines' all-time rushing leader, but he's a lot more. He's a captain, he's a conscience, he's emotional, he's a motivator, he's a talker. So we decided to let Mike Hart himself tell you about those things that make him special.
I bring a little fire. You know, I can't say it's all me. You know, when you have guys like Jake and guys like Chad and then Adrian and Mario, those guys put a passion too. I think people just, you know, expect it out of me, so they give me the credit for it. I love it. You know, I want to be in the spotlight. I want the pressure on me, you know, because it gives me reasons not to mess up, gives me reasons to work harder.
Draw play, Hart. Oh, did he make a great move to make Joe Smith first in the open field. 35, 30, 25, breaks the tackle to the 20, the 15, carrying two tacklers down to the 11-yard line.
You know, when you're in the spotlight, when you have to do everything right, when you can't mess up, when you can't go on the weekends and mess up, when you can't, you know, yell in practice. You know, you have to do all the right things when everyone looks at you. And I think it just makes me a better person. Been a leader since I've been little. You know, in my household, on any football team I've been on, it's just been a part of my life. It's been a way of life for me. So it's something that if I'm not a leader, it's kind of out of my box, out of my zone. I really can't follow. I'll tell you that. Leading is just something I do, something that's in my blood, and something I love to do. Hasn't been a better experience in my life. You know, I don't regret anything. Any choice I've made, I'm glad I came here. Made me a better person. I'm gonna leave with a great education. Couldn't ask for anything else more on the football field.
Boudreaux's hard in the offset eye. Power left. Here's Hart off the left side. Squeezing through. Bounces off the top of the pile. Still on his feet. He's in the end zone with second effort. Touchdown, Michigan. He never went down.
Couldn't ask for any more, friends. Leadership-wise, I've learned a lot. Met a lot of people I wouldn't have met going to another university. It's just been a great experience. A great kid, a great leader, does everything right, a great role model, and tries his best on the field, gives 100% every down.
And they'll hand the ball to Hart, left side to a big hole. Over the 50, cuts outside left, 45, 40, stumbles, makes the tackle, cuts back in, 40, 25, angling the right sideline, to the 20, 15, hesitates, makes a man miss, 10, 5, touchdown! Mike Hart, a magical 54-yard run to put Michigan on top. Oh my goodness!
Michigan's all-time leading ground gainer. Lloyd Carr, when he came out of Syracuse, New York, you never thought you were getting what you got, did you?
Well, I felt confident he was going to be a very, very good football player, Jim. But to say that I thought he would be the leading ground gainer in Michigan history, I can't say that I did. And I certainly never dreamt that this guy would come in here and accumulate a string of how many times has he carried the ball?
Over 1,000 carries and no
never
fumbles.
fumbled the ball.
That's as a coach. That's to you. That is like a security blanket you can't believe.
Well, I think it's as impressive a string as any record we have at Michigan.
It's mind-boggling to think there are no fumbles and 1,000 chances. That's unbelievable. When we come back, Lloyd and I will sit down and talk a little bit more about what's coming up over the holidays. But first, we hear again from Mike Hart, who says the recap of that Ohio State game is really very simple.
When you watch the film, everything's gonna be right there. We made, too many MAs, too many drop balls, too many missed blocks, there's bad cuts, whatever you want, whatever you want to call it. We just did put it together as an offense today. And when you don't do that, you're not gonna win games.
Too many points. 14 was too much. We had to hold them to 0 in this game right here, and we didn't get the job done.
As we close our post-Ohio State show, one of the things we want to talk about is the rumor and speculation all week long prior to the game was around Lloyd Carr, which is the worst thing that could happen to you because the game is about the game. It's not about Lloyd Carr. But we should ask you, there are some rumors and speculators out there about your future, and we wanted to let you have the opportunity to talk about that.
Well, what if I don't want to, Jim?
What if you don't want to? Well, that's your prerogative.
I know.
So you don't want to?
Well, I think first of all, it's I have one consideration, and that is my coaching staff and our team, and so I've always told them they'll be the first to know, and when I make that decision and when that day comes, then it'll be out there, And
Okay.
until then, what I've tried to do is keep the focus on this game because that's the way it should be, and on the guys who play the game. And to do anything else would have been a distraction. Now, there's always a lot of hype in this game. It's always there's always things to write about, and I have no problem with that. But I've got to stay true to the thing that is most important to me, and that is my coaches and our team.
Well done. We won't go any further than that. The one thing we do want to ask now is about down the road. I mean, the bowl consideration is out there. I would think that you would go to a Florida Bowl at this point.
Well, we finished second in the Big Ten, and I've always been told that that's the most important criteria. So we'll see. I've been disappointed before, but I think in fairness to this team, the right thing needs to happen here.
And the thing about whoever gets Michigan in a bowl game, and hopefully it's in Florida, it should be anyway, it's going to be a little different because you're going to have some health. You're going to have some time to heal. And that offense is going to, I think, be a little bit better than it was against Ohio State.
Well, we need to be. And that'll be a challenge in terms of regrouping. This is a very, very disappointing end of the season. But these guys have great pride and resilience, and so we got to come back and find a way to end this season in the right way.
Well, I bet if anybody can get it done, it can be you. That's it for tonight. We've got more Michigan replays coming your way, so tune in next week, same time, same place. We'll have more excitement for you right here on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Mountain Dew.